Welcome to Hardwood Floors Magazine's Product Theater Thursday, part of the NWFA's Live Edge series. I'm Libby Johnston, publisher of Hardwood Floors, the official magazine of NWFA. Today's theater is sponsored by Bona. Joining me now is Todd Schutte, Director of E-Learning for Bona US, and Trey Harrison, Senior Territory Manager, Adhesives for Bona US. Thanks for being with us on Product Theater Thursday.
Thank you, Libby. Happy to be here to chat with everybody a little more about RollGuard, which just was introduced a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in the presentation today?
Yeah, so RollGuard is our newest product that Bona has to offer, and it's a roll-on silane-based moisture barrier and vapor retarder. So we're going to get into some of the tips and tricks and what exactly it does. Well, thanks again to the NWFA. Thanks again to Libby for setting us all up with this. Like I said, the Bona RollGuard is it's a vapor retarder and a moisture barrier, all silane based. It is a GreenGuard Gold certified product, so that is something that's very important to us and something that we're going to continue to harp on and keep moving forward with. It's a 5 liter jug, and that's about it.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
No.
It's what you guys are going to find is it's a faster product than some of the things you may be used to applying, especially if it's a polyurethane type moisture barrier, vapor retarder. So you've got a 2 to 3 hour dry time before you can start installing, whether that's on concrete or plywood, and it's just easier. It's roller application. So if you can roll on paint, you're going to be able to put RollGuard on with ease. And I think a good example of the faster aspect is the first time I touched this product, we did a big test job that we filmed down in Dothan, Alabama, did a 3,200 square foot church, install, sand, and finish on a slab. But when we went in day one, we knew that we wanted to, make sure the slab was all prepped, clean, but also get our starter rows in. So the next day when we came back, we could really get clicking on that job. So when we got everything all set up, we rolled about a 10-foot wide, and we had about a 100-foot pass. So about 1,000 square feet we rolled out with RollGuard. By the time we got to the end of that 1,000 square feet, it was dry enough where we started, where we could go ahead and get our starter row put in. And not only that, but then we got 2 or 3 more runs on the sides done, all in that first night. Whereas some of the other parts of the project, we had put R540 or a typical polyurethane type moisture barrier. With that, we've got a 16-hour dry time. So we would have had to wait till probably at least noon the next day to even go in and get a starter row done. So by putting RollGuard down, it really helped us get a huge jump on that job. So definitely faster and easier.
Absolutely. One of the biggest benefits of it is a one component product. So single component, no pot life, no need to mix, no need to throw it away when you're done. When you're done, wipe that lid off, because I've said a lot of times before, you might seal it on if you don't keep it clean, because it does hold well. But one coat, one component. The nice thing about the one coat system is it's one coat over any application. If you're going to go under hardwood with our adhesives, as Todd's going to get into in a second, you can do it that way, or we can do it under a floating floor, any kind of a floating system. We can do it with just a different kind of spread rate, and you'll be set up that way. One of the other great things about it is zero VOC, and like I said, GreenGuard Gold certified. GreenGuard Gold, real quick, if you're not familiar, it's a system that tests the VOCs in it and how well how much it off gases and makes people sick. GreenGuard Gold used to be GreenGuard Safe, the GreenGuard Safe for childcare facilities and hospitals. It's kind of wordy, so they made it GreenGuard Gold. Sounds a little bit better, but it is one of the safest products out there in our industry.
Yeah, and we'll touch on it later too, that now with the introduction of RollGuard, Bona's got a full GreenGuard Gold system all the way through from moisture barrier sealer or vapor retarder up to maintenance products. Excuse me. So here's just an example. I mean, really flexible product, no pun intended, but depending on what adhesive you're using and what trowel you're going to use, that'll tell you if you can or want to put RollGuard down thin or thick. So let's say we're putting down 16-inch wide, 3/4-inch engineered flooring. So we're going to use the 1500G trowel for that. So it puts it down a little thicker. It's got higher ridges and stuff on it. But because we're using a trowel that puts it down heavier and we're using quantum flow, now we can put RollGuard down a little thinner. So that 400 to 500 square feet per jug, put the quantum flow down a little heavier, and that leads us to our unlimited moisture protection with that system. Likewise, if we're going to still using flow, but now maybe we're putting down a little skinnier product or a little thinner product, so we're using a different trowel, not putting it down as heavy. Because we're not putting the adhesive down as heavy, now we can go ahead and we want to put RollGuard down a little thicker, 200 to 250 square feet per jug, to still get us to that unlimited moisture protection. But then if we switch products, so we're no longer using flow, now we're using Quantum R851 or Quantum T, and we're still putting it down heavy with the 1500 or 1250G trowel. Again, heavier on the adhesive, thinner on the RollGuard to still get great protection up to 18 pounds and 95% RH. Not quite that unlimited, but still really good because we switched out of using the flow adhesive. Or if we're using, again, the trowel that puts it down a little thinner, so the engineered flooring trowel, 1000F trowel, now we want to put RollGuard down a little thicker. So again, the two combined, because they're both silane based, they're working in connection with each other to still get you up then to that moisture protection level of 18 pounds, 95% RH. So again, as you'll see in the application video, we'll talk a little bit more as we go here. It's just adjusting your application rate of RollGuard, depending on what adhesive you're putting down, depending on what trowel you're using, and whatever moisture protection level you want to end up at as your end game.
Well, we were talking about the GreenGuard Gold a little bit earlier, and as Todd mentioned, this is a full system, and this is the first one in the industry where you can go from a moisture barrier all the way up through a cleaning product, and every single product is GreenGuard Gold certified. This is becoming a bigger and bigger thing for the industry and for Bona. And it's something that, you know, you can tell a homeowner that, listen, this floor is going to be as, you know, as green as you can possibly get. Your children can play on it. Your dogs won't get sick. You can drop food, 5-second rule. You're still going to be okay. You know, there's not an off gas. There's not a VOC problem when you use any of these products. You know, we also really think about the technician, the craftsman's health. I mean, when the installers are down there every day, a couple inches away from, or a couple feet even away from these products, that's dangerous. And some of these products that are out there are very caustic and have you know, shortened the life of some installers. So for us to provide a better solution for them is a big deal. And it's an upselling opportunity. You know, everybody's in this business, you know, to make money. So why not make a little bit more? Why not offer a product that's greener, that's a little bit better for the environment? And also the future. There's a lot of people in this industry, and I'm sure people on this cast that know that everything keeps getting greener. Court laws change, gallon laws change, court laws, stuff like that. So we want to stay ahead of it, and we want to keep you guys ahead of it.
And one of the other things I like best about our whole GreenGuard Gold system is if you look at all these products up there, some people might think, well, to get a greener, safer product, I got to go to a lesser product. But every single product that we've got up here that's part of the full Bona GreenGuard Gold system is our top of the line products and the top of the line products in the industry. Again, whether it's RollGuard, Quantum Flow adhesive, Chroma for your coloration system, Bona Clear Seal, any of the Bona Traffic family. So Traffic Go, Traffic HD, HD Raw, HD Anti-Slip, all those are GreenGuard Gold certified, as well as all of our maintenance products. So now you can have safer products for you, for your technicians, for your customers, and you don't have to apologize about performance because they're all the best in their category. So again, super happy that everybody's tuning in. We hope through the little intro here on RollGuard, you learned a little something about it. But we've said it's easier to apply, it's faster to apply. So let's take a look at our application video that's out there for you guys on our Pro YouTube channel and see how easy it is actually to get down on the floor. Hey everyone, welcome to our video on Bona RollGuard application. Again, this product, another big step forward in Bona silane technology. We got a single component, one coat silane based moisture barrier sealer or vapor retarder, depending on how you're using it, that we think is going to make your job, or we know is going to make your job easier, faster, and more environmentally conscious because of the chemical layout of the product. But this is the part I like most. Let's get the product down. Let's show you how easy it is to use, and then all the benefits will come through as we get this great product put in place. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is make sure our substrates, whether it's a wooden subfloor or a concrete slab, that they are prepared and ready for a good coat of RollGuard so it can do its job when it gets on the floor. According to NWFA, National Wood Flooring Association, you want to get your substrate clean, dry, and flat. And by flat, they mean 3/16 of an inch in 10 feet. And that's really a good measure for both concrete and wooden substrates. We also want it to be structurally sound, porous, and have a concrete surface profile of 3, which equals kind of a light broom finish. You don't want it, you know, super glassy and smooth. The product has to be able to penetrate into it to get some bite. And on any of those surfaces or substrates, we want them to be clean. We want to remove old adhesive residue, paint, sealers, curing agents, any other type of contaminants. If we have to, we might have to replace some OSB or plywood. You might have to grind down some concrete to get that surface prepared. But that's always the first thing in getting a good application. Once we are clean, dry, and flat, we can go from there. One coat application for Bona RollGuard, and it could be what we call one coat thin or one coat heavy. So on our one coat thin applications, that's going to be at about 400 to 500 square feet per 5-liter container. Most common application for that is going to be wooden subfloors, where we're using this as a vapor retarder, where it's going to protect up to a 20% moisture content down in those wooden subfloor systems and prevent that excessive moisture from coming up into our wood that we're putting on top. But typically we're going to be putting it down one thin coat there. Also on concrete floors, when we're pairing it with Bona Quantum adhesives with the 1250 or 1500 trowel, so we're putting on the adhesive heavier with those trowels, then we can put down a little thinner coat of Bona RollGuard, because as a system, we're getting good coverage all the way across between the adhesive and the RollGuard. We don't have to put as heavy of a coat down there. So to get that application rate, pretty simple. We're going to pour a 3 or 4 inch wide line of RollGuard right down the middle of that work area. After we get our puddle poured out, we're going to take our roller, we're going to straddle that puddle, roll it out 2 feet on either side to cover our 4-foot section, and we're just going to work that puddle all the way down our run to finish out that section. Now, you may notice that where you poured that puddle, once you roll over it once or twice, you still may have a little bit of a darker shadow. This product is fairly thick in viscosity. That is telling me that I still have a little heavy spot right there. So just continue to work that out back and forth until you get rid of that shadow. That'll ensure that you've got a nice, even application. And just repeat. Go to your next section. Pour that 3 or 4 inch wide line down the middle of it and start rolling out to 2 feet on either side. See? Pretty easy. Same thing if we want to apply a heavy application. So that's going to mean 2 to 250 square feet per 5-liter container. A lot of times for the heavy coat application is going to be when we're on concrete floors prior to leveling compounds, because we want the RollGuard to be heavy there to seal the floor, but also to be able to accept the sand that we're casting into it. Any glue down using the engineered flooring trowel or engineered plus or the 1000F trowel, because those put it down a little thinner. There we're going to want, again, a thicker application of RollGuard, so that that system all together between RollGuard and our adhesive, we've got plenty of moisture protection there between the two products acting as a system. Same with a floating floor, because we're not putting any adhesive under that, you're just gluing the tongue and groove together on those systems. We want to put a heavier coat down of RollGuard on the subfloors under those to just make sure we're fully protected against any moisture mitigation coming up from our subfloor. And that would include non-wood floors too, carpet, LVT, LVP. We're going to want to put a heavy application under those to make sure we've got full protection. So how do I get the heavier application? This time we're going to pour that line out 6 or 8 inches wide down the middle of our 4-foot section, and we've got more product to work out. So naturally, if we're staying within the confines of that 4-foot run, we're just going to have a thicker coat. Again, making sure that I'm eliminating any shadows from the puddle, which may be more now since I'm pouring out more product to begin with. But again, it's that easy. I'm pouring a 3 or 4 inch wide line, or I'm pouring a 6 to 8, but my process all the way around other than that is exactly the same. If you're more used maybe to, again, applying waterborne sealers and finishes, you can always try maybe the typical waterborne roller application method with those, where now I'm pouring my puddle a lot closer to my section I just got done with, and I'm standing back and rolling that puddle back and forth a number of times to, again, get it spread out. But I'd really recommend, even if you want to try it that way, try the straddle method. I find it a lot easier because a lot of times you do need to put a little more pressure on your applicator. When you're putting down sealers and finishes, we always recommend fingertip pressure. Here, we're actually going to recommend putting a little added pressure on it to just make sure you get this thicker viscosity product spread out. And as you can see, applying RollGuard is super easy. So go get some Bona RollGuard for your next job to ensure against current and future moisture issues. It couldn't be easier for you to protect you and your customers and their beautiful floors. All right, so again, we hope you guys saw how easy it is to apply. The last shots there was that big church project we worked on down in Alabama. Again, it came out beautiful, but RollGuard was the first step to help us get there. So Trey and I are going to go through a few frequently asked questions on this product, because every time you have a new product, even if it's pretty similar to some past products, questions always come up. And then we'll show you another video that we've got on some frequently asked questions. But Trey, let's start first with roller width, right? A lot of times when we're putting down water-based sealer and finish, we're using a typical 9-inch roller. But what do you find is the best width to use for RollGuard?
Sure. You can use either any of them that you want. It's not that important. What I prefer and what guys who have used it so far prefer, they prefer something like this, an 18-inch roller. You're going to cover more ground. You're going to get it spread out a little easier and faster. Like was said in the video, you're not using fingertip pressure. We're putting some pressure down on it. We want it to go down. So one of these cages, a RollGuard, like a paint cage like that, works really, really well. 1/4-inch nap. If you can find a mohair, that's usually the best method that we like. But you can use a 9-inch, and if you find yourself in a closet or in a kitchen or somewhere where it's the space isn't working as good, you can use that too. 14-inch rollers as well.
Yeah, and what I like about this 18-inch, especially the one that has the core all the way across, right? Like you said, it does help you put pressure. But even if you get in a pinch and you run out of 18-inch rollers or can't find one, just throw a couple 9s on there. It'll work great as well. Mm-hmm. And as you saw in the video, again, this product is thick, as most moisture barrier sealers are when you pour it out. So you need to put some pressure on it, and you'll be able to see that shadow. It's nice that it comes with the color indicator with that. And just make that shadow go away. And if that happens, you got a nice even application, whether it's the thicker side or the thinner side all the way across your section there. How about, again, dry time? We know it dries faster, but how do I check and see if it's dry enough to go ahead and install?
Yeah, dry times are different everywhere. They're different in all different parts of the country. And with RollGuard, you know, it's pretty easy. You can do it just a fingertip test. When you touch it and you get nothing on your hands, there's nothing's coming off of the floor, you're ready to install.
Yep, just a transfer test.
Mm-hmm.
And what if I put it down and I can't install the floor right away? Is there anything I need to do to RollGuard to prep it for then my install and get an adhesive on it? Or?
So the fact that it's a silane-based adhesive and we're putting a silane-based moisture barrier and we're putting a silane-based adhesive on top of it, that bond is going to be good no matter what. The biggest thing we're worried about is contaminants. You know, drywall dust in the air, anything that could happen. So if, let's say, you know, we say 48 hours we want you to be able to install because that's a pretty good timeline. Let's say you can't. Maybe things happen all the time in this industry. What I suggest, put some plastic down over it. Just a thin mill poly, nothing expensive, just something to keep it protected from other elements out there. Pull it off, then you're ready to install.
Yeah, and what we found out when we did the film shoot for that is because RollGuard stays a little tacky, right, that it was easy to push the plastic down on it and have it have some sort of stickiness
Makes it
to it where it was sticking down there. So you don't feel like you have to tack it down anywhere. Now, if you're having a lot of traffic from other trades and stuff, you still might want to do that, but otherwise it held pretty nicely. So I can see that being a good solution. Absolutely. When you had a lot of other trades
keep it protected.
Yeah. All right. So again, we know there's a lot of FAQs, and we've created a couple videos for you guys that you'll find on our Pro YouTube channel. FAQ number 1. But right now we're going to take a look at FAQ number 2 that's focused on some of those things that aren't directly application related, but some of the other things that may come up while you're using Bona RollGuard. Hey again, everybody, I'm back. Welcome to our frequently asked question video number 2 on Bona RollGuard. This one has to do with more what I'd call extraneous application issues. So the first question is, when using Bona RollGuard, is it necessary to put down building paper or asphalt paper over the RollGuard before I install my flooring? And the answer to that one is no. Actually, RollGuard is taking the place of that vapor retarder that you'd usually get with your asphalt paper or the building paper, and it performs better. Unlike building or asphalt paper that can tear before, during, or after installation and mess up your working lines, when you put down RollGuard, it provides that uninterrupted layer of continuous film protection. So it's going to take, whether it's plywood, OSB, Advantech, any of your types of approved wooden subfloors, and provide a vapor retarder up to 20% moisture content in those surfaces to protect just against that moisture coming up too quick and affecting your flooring. With RollGuard, again, if I come in, I take the readings on my flooring, it's at 8%, but my subfloor is at 18%, I can go ahead and apply RollGuard over the top of it at 400 to 500 square feet per container, and I'm ready after it's dried to go ahead and install my flooring. You can't do that with building paper or asphalt paper. So skip those products, put down RollGuard, and you'll be in a much better situation to start. Can I apply Bona RollGuard over those sealed high-performance wooden subfloor systems? Absolutely. RollGuard can be applied as a vapor barrier over those types of products. But first, because they're sealed and we really need some porosity for RollGuard to sink in, get a good grab onto that surface, we're going to want to open that surface back up with 60 grit paper, probably just on our power drive or even just our FlexiSand buffer. Vacuum off, any dust, any residual dust, get the floor good and clean. Then we're going to go ahead and put our RollGuard on, and that will ensure that we've got a good bite into that, and so that our adhesive can also then bite into the RollGuard, which has good adhesion also to the subfloor, especially those advanced type sealed systems. And again, we should be ready to roll from there with our installation. Can I use Bona RollGuard to encapsulate old cutback adhesive if I tear up a floor? Not just with RollGuard, but with anything else, any new system you're putting over the top, you're always rolling the dice to apply those types of products over the top of those old residues. A lot of times the old adhesive residues get more brittle, so you can usually scrape them off and they're kind of exploding off the floor. But we don't want to take that chance. I mean, I wouldn't want to. If it fails, then what you're looking at is pulling up that floor again at your cost, reinstalling it. Now any profitability on that job is just blown through the roof. So best practice, mechanically remove any and all adhesive residue, including cutback adhesive. Scarify the surface if you need to. You might need to shot blast it or simply sand it with, again, a buffer and some type of diamond system. That's the best way to ensure you're going to get great performance, not only from your RollGuard, but the adhesive going on top and your flooring going on top of that. Next question is about my working lines with RollGuard going down. Am I still going to be able to see those through RollGuard? Absolutely. We've tested this out with both blue and red chalk lines, fully visible through the RollGuard film after it's dried, actually even when it's drying. Once I put it down on my wooden subfloor or on my concrete subfloor, put RollGuard over it, those are locked in. They're not going to move, not going to get smudged, so you get nicer, crisper lines that aren't going to get put out of whack by having something else on the floor other than Bona RollGuard. So if you're looking at your concrete slab and it looks really glossy, probably indicating that it's been hard troweled or sealer or curing agent has been applied to it, can you apply RollGuard directly over the top of that? Definitely not. We need the concrete, and this again is with any product out there, not just RollGuard, but the concrete needs to be at a certain level of porosity because these types of products want to penetrate a little bit to give them that good grab over those concrete surfaces. So you need porosity, and you want kind of a surface level, or what they call a CSP, a concrete surface profile of 3, which equals a light broom finish. To test porosity, sometimes you can just do a simple water drop test where you're taking water and dropping it on certain areas of the floor. If it soaks in, that means the floor is porous, not sealed, doesn't have curing compounds in it. But if it beads up on top like water on a wax car, it's sealed or it's hard troweled. Anyway, you don't have the right porosity. You may need to diamond abrade that, shot blast it. You may even have to do an official porosity test like ASTM F3191 just to make sure that this concrete surface, because they can really differ one floor to another, is set up right so that you can have good success when applying not only your RollGuard but also the adhesive and the flooring over the top of that. All right, so here is a very important question because we're putting down Bona RollGuard as either our moisture barrier sealer or as a vapor retarder if we're working on wooden subfloors. But does the wood flooring still need to be acclimated? Absolutely. There's no shortcuts from this important aspect of putting in your flooring. While RollGuard can prevent issues from excess moisture coming up and affecting your flooring, you still need to acclimate it to proper expected living conditions. So there's 2 steps, right? Always. First is you get the subfloor ready for the flooring, and number 2 is you get the flooring ready for the room. And if you do that, you and your moisture barrier or vapor retarder and flooring should live happily ever after. All right, so that's all the questions I think we've got on kind of extraneous application issues. But thanks for watching, and thanks for your interest in Bona RollGuard. All right, well, welcome back. I just wanted to go back to what we saw there with the cutback, because I think that comes up a lot for guys, especially working on slabs. Again, the video footage we had there was of that test job down in Alabama. It was in the library that they had that we were redoing. And the contractor we were working with, who was giving us some extra help, which we greatly appreciated on a job that size, he stated that they would typically just install over the top of that. And you know, we said, well, we really recommend taking any type of contaminant or residue or whatever off the floor And as we went in, and it was a pain to take off, right? You would think that it was really stuck to the floor, but if you remember from the one shot where I actually had a floor scraper and I'm scraping it off and it's just exploding off of there. And that made me think that this stuff isn't really stuck to the concrete very well. Now, I don't know if it is typically that way or they had a poor installation to begin with, but so we wanted to do a little test. So we freshly prepared some of the concrete, got all the residue off. We ended up using a Dyma brush to take all that off because it was thick and heavy. And we stuck some wooden blocks down there and timed them with the adhesive then to see how long would it take to set up and stuff. And we wanted to see overall what kind of adhesion we had. We did the same thing in an area that had the cutback residue still on it. And when we came back and hit those blocks off, it only took about 2 whacks with the mallet for that block to completely pop off. But what else popped off was all the cutback off of the concrete. So the silane adhesive that we were using, it stuck great to the cutback, but the cutback wasn't stuck good to the concrete. So again, you're rolling the dice there if you try to install over the top. It may work, it may not. If it doesn't work, you're tearing that floor out and replacing it. So it was eye-opening for everybody there, especially to the contractor who said we'd just install over it. And just having the discussion that, hey, just because it looks like it's stuck to the floor and it's kind of a pain to get off, doesn't mean you have great adhesion, especially after 20, 30, 40, 50 years. A lot of stuff gets, the performance gets worse, it gets more brittle. So yeah, always take that stuff off if you have a chance.
The issue isn't the adhesive stuck to the cutback, it's the cutback stuck to the floor.
Correct. Yep. So Libby, coming back to you, we've got some, that's all the presentation we've got and discussion up to this point. Any other questions come in over the line from the viewers that we can answer?
So the first question we have, they're asking, just to be sure, is this product for both solid and engineered installations?
Absolutely. Yeah, this product is to protect any kind of flooring that you're going underneath. We're protecting the flooring from any moisture that's coming from below. So solids, engineered, and even the LVTs and the floating floors as well. We can protect against all those.
Yeah, and the type of floor, whether it's solid or engineered, and how wide and or how thick it is, that's going to relate more to what trowel they should use in installing that flooring, and maybe even what Bona silane adhesive to put down too. But yeah, RollGuard is for all the above.
Okay. And the next question is this intended to replace R540? If not, when do we use it versus this new product?
So it's a secondary product. It's another product that we have. This product is going to be superior to R540 in most instances because of the quicker dry time, because of the one coat application all the time. But I don't know that R540 is going away. It's just another option for you to have out there.
Yeah, and if I look at the advantages that I think RollGuard has over R540, if I'm a contractor making that business decision, I'm switching to this product. But we're going to leave R540 out there for guys who still want to continue to use it. A great product in itself, and maybe more familiar to them if they've used other, polyurethane type moisture barriers in the past. R540 is right up that alley, but I would make the clear switch to RollGuard. To me, there's no other reason to use anything else.
Next question. Does Bona make a wood floor adhesive for solid hardwoods applied to concrete and wood subfloor?
Absolutely. Yeah, all of our silane-based adhesives are good for gluing down solids to concrete or to plywood, or OSB, any kind of wood substrate. They're all warranted for that, and we're good with that.
And again, what product they choose, what silane adhesive, whether it's Quantum Flow, Quantum R851, or quantum T, which stands for thick, it's really going to be based on sometimes personal preference, but also how thick the product is. So are they working with 1/2 inch product or 3/4 inch solid, and then how wide. So on the back of the adhesives jugs, it'll give all those specs and help them make that decision on what's the best product to choose based on what type of flooring they want to install.
All right, and for this one, it's framed more as a statement, but they're saying that they appreciate that you included in the presentation the importance of proper substrate preparation. Is there anything else you'd like to add about why that was such an important part for you to include in your presentation today?
Yeah, because if you screw the floor up and it has to be torn out, that's a lot of cost for the contractor to have to go back on. And there's going to be, no other direction to point the finger than, somebody who didn't prep that floor correctly in the first place. And it's also good, just to educate your customer about the importance of proper subfloor preparation, so they know why you're going to all the steps that you are, and that also singles you out as a true professional, I think.
I think there's a big difference, and I think you can, like he said, you can separate yourself as to who actually does it, spends the time, and who doesn't. And I bet you there's a correlation to whose floors are more solid and better installed than the others.
Next question is, will we get to try this product at the Bona convention?
Absolutely. We will definitely have a demo theater going, definitely be putting down a lot of the RollGuard. We'll have all different substrates out there for everybody to try. We'll have different rollers, different size rollers, everything. So it's definitely something we're going to be focusing on and really, really highlighting at the convention this year.
And even better news, you don't have to wait till the Bona convention. It's at distributors now. So if you've got a job that may warrant the use of this, you can go get some and put it down today.
Okay, and now once opened, what's the pot life of the product?
Well, like I mentioned, one of the nice things is it's a single component product. You cap it up, and use it on your next job, whatever you don't use. So, we get it. Moisture barriers are, it's an investment, and you're spending the money. And one of the biggest downfalls on moisture barriers is when you have to throw some away because you already catalyzed it, and it has a pot life for a shot, or and you don't use it. So that's one of the big highlights on this jug. Single component, no pot life.
Next question, is moisture testing required on concrete?
So moisture testing is not required on the unlimited moisture protection. And if we go back to doing this also in conjunction with the quantum flow, either at the thick or the thin, depending on which method you choose, we don't require it. That's an unlimited moisture protection. If you're using any of the other adhesives, we still do require a moisture test. Calcium chloride or a relative humidity test on the concrete to make sure that you stay within the limits.
Okay, next question. When using a leveling compound to make sure the subfloor is flat, do you use it before the application of RollGuard or after?
Yeah, you want it always with leveling compounds because a lot of them have actually wood fibers and cellulose in them. What you don't want to do is trap leveling compound underneath your moisture barrier system. So you're always going to put RollGuard down first, heavy, and that's actually something Trey caught that on one of the slides here that I had it wrong. We had the leveling compound situation and I put a thin application there. You always want it thick because you want to have enough of that down to catch the sand that you've got to broadcast into it. And the reason for the sand is to give some bite for that leveling compound. So we're putting RollGuard down, we're broadcasting sand in it to a full rejection. When that's dry, we're going to come back and remove that excess sand. Then you're going to put your leveling compound over that. When the leveling compound's dry, then we'll come back and apply, again, the chosen silane adhesive over the top of that.
Right, another question. how can I clean it off if I accidentally get RollGuard on another surface?
Well, the first step is try not to do that. It's a product that's made to kind of coat a floor, and it's got, if anything that has porosity into it, it's gonna embed in there. So surface level, if it's, you know, something that you can get off, you could probably get it off with some, you know, mineral spirits and water. You can try and get some of the top layers off, maybe a scraper or something like that. But anything that's porous, it's probably gonna embed into that.
Yeah, penetration. It's again, you'll know if you get some on the rim and you don't wipe it off, get some drips over that, put that cap back on. You need your big set of pliers at the next job site to get that cap off, so you can use the rest of it that's in there. But so it's always good, preventative medicine. Tape things off, mask things off that you don't want to get it onto. Chat with your guys, have a game plan before you go into it, and just reiterate, hey, we need to be careful with this stuff. Remember what happened last job. We don't want those mistakes to be repeated. So you can try to take it off with some mineral spirits, but preventative medicine is the best place to start.
All right, that's about all the time we have for questions. Is there anything else you would like to add today?
All we would like to add is just some of the different places you can go for, again, more information on this at your own time, or if you want some personal attention. Again, we've got our Bona Professional YouTube channel. We've got, I think, 450 plus videos on there that we've put together just for our customers to cover, sessions just like this, and to help you be successful with our products. You can always reach out to your Bona territory manager, and you can find that whole listing on our Bona.com website, along with our training school schedule. Love to do schools with people to bring them, again, just more ideas and more interaction with their peers across the U.S. on how to be successful as craftsmen and business people. And then again, you can always get a hold of your Bona distributor, or to find your nearest Bona distributor, go to our Bona.com, and there's a distributor locator on there.
All right. Well, I'll note that this presentation is going to be made available on NWFA.org. Thanks again to Bona for joining us for Hardwood Floors Magazine's Product Theater Thursday, and thank you for attending. Have a good afternoon.
Yep. Thanks, Libby. Thanks, everyone.